welcome back to our class. Today, we're going to learn about chapter 26. About chapter 26 is Catherine the Great. There are two parts of chapter 26, and we are going to learn about part 1. Part 1 is all about Catherine visits Russia. When Catherine, a young lady, watches after king dies and replaced by its own son, he wanted himself to become a great leader. And then one day, after several years and days, a message came from a nobleman from Russia inviting her to come to Russia. She met Peter. You may know Peter the Great. Not Peter. The young lady had seen Peter before when he was only 10. Even though when Peter was only 10, he drank a lot of wine. Children when 10 years old shouldn't be drinking wine, right? And he drank a lot of wine that he has to be carried away from the table. Whoever knows a kid drinks as much wine as a drunkard, right? As a drunk kid. As he grew more and more unpopular, Peter and his mom were willing to go. When Catherine received a message, he was so excited. He thought, if his daughter marries the Tsar of Russia, the king of the Russians are called Tsars, then he will be the mother to queens and kings. Tsars. He will be the mother to the Tsars and the queen. But his father says no and disagreed, and he says the Russians always said listeners of Martin King Jr. is a president that tries to make the black into the right. We maybe talk about it one day. Well, I'll talk it in a few chapters. Years. And his father also said, promise me, don't read any books of the Martin King Jr. And she agreed and promised. She didn't want to marry Peter, but she agreed to travel. So he and her mother packed up their clothes, food, men, and maybe a few men, and lots of food, and they marched towards it on the cold day snow, and it was so freezing and the road disappeared. It doesn't disappear because the snow all falls and buries it, like it was just a rock. And his mother had a difficult time. But when they arrived there, they were greeted with joy. Like a birthday party. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. This is not birthday time. And when your daddy, they were greeted with joy. They were given soft and warm clothes. It's just like a jacket. And also the delicious pudding and food. Like a birthday. And then the royal sled is waiting for them to just sit on and watch them to Peter the Great meeting. So they got in and whoosh. Well, Peter the Great is waiting, and then he says, and then he was still delighted to see her, and he says, "Oh, just sit on the sled so that I and you can look much better." And the more time that she was with him, the more she hated him. He was unhelpful and rude to his servants. He loved to pour wine on his servants' head. But is that real? Maybe the wine will cause the hair to burn to fire. I learned from my mom. And so, as he became more and more unpopular, he always ignored his wife. After several years, his Catholic aunt Elizabeth, Queen of England. You remember about that, right? I told you in a few 10 chapters ago. And she was starting just to have a baby. No, she doesn't have a baby. While she waited and waited, one day Peter has touched the smoke. And then at that time, Elizabeth determined the place to wait for the wedding. It's time for the wedding at that time. Elizabeth, do you let this get away because that you wanted a bad time? Didn't she? I don't know why she just let them marry very quickly. And she was afraid to tell Elizabeth that she doesn't love him. But so they have a great celebration and fun the weekend, after dancing. After the wedding, as Catherine waited for more several years. And now one day we have a baby. It was good luck, but the joy doesn't last long. As soon as the baby was born, Elizabeth swooped down and killed the baby and forced the other servants to follow her. Now she was left alone. She was very sad. But she had some great joys too. She loved to read books. And the books are all by Romans and Roman leaders, how they rule over their home empire. and some other books like philosophers and anthologists, theologies, and others. So, as they grew, Peter began to grow lonelier and lonelier. He always grew lonely. As the week passed, she began to catch the disease. And then, finally, he was forced to go into bed. He couldn't move. Just lie there, do nothing, just lie there. She was very weak, too weak to leave a rebellion against his husband. And then, finally, on May 25, 1792, she died. This is part 1. Now remember part 1. It's a bit long. Let's remember part 2. It's also a bit long. This was named after the chapter's name. It's also about Peter the Great. Let's turn out in a time machine to when Peter was before his death. Wow, this is a very happy news. I love to tell it. It's really happy. So, when Peter was just before his death and had children, she was now still, at the time, he was still lonely. He was so lonely that his husband leave him alone. He chases women, pour wine over his servant's head, and rude to his servants, playing his wooden soldiers with one of his officials and others. He ignored his wife. One day, when the feast came, he lit on the table and stabbed on the delicious meat food and said, "If I wanted to, I can throw you in prison for the rest of your life." What does somebody say? If I want to, I can throw you in prison for the rest of your life? Why? Why does she say this? So when she was very scared, she began to visit the army officers. And when Peter was in charge of the army, he loved Prussia, which is a German state, a Russia state that the Russians hated it. This is a bad state, which everyone would say, because it is another state. So he loved it so much that he wanted the army to like Prussia armies. The soldiers hated that. So he commanded them to get rid of their own clothes and put on Russia clothes. And to march all the way, and to march and fight like Prussians. Russians, right? But the soldiers doesn't want it to. They pass secret messages with Kaplan. And one day, when just Peter was away in another town, the soldiers were almost ready. And at that time, Peter was having for his second baby before his death. And the soldiers were nearly ready. When Peter was almost near to his death, the soldiers are ready. And then when he was just his and then go down to the soldiers. The soldiers agreed to fight and have a plan to surround the little town so that Peter can escape or send messages to any part of our state, so that he will surrender and die. I'm back. I just relate on the God again. Now where was I? Oh yes, I remember. So the soldiers come and march all the way and said, "We shall means long live the emperor. Empress, and very happy. And when they surrounded the town, that night, Peter drank wine all night. What? Peter drank wine all night. And then in the morning, he saw that his throne was lost. He saw the people agree. He saw the paper agree that he was surrender, but he begged that he will go to Prussia, where he always loved. Catherine knew that if he go there, he can convince the Prussians to give him soldiers and reconquer the country to get back his throne. So he chased Peter and then put him to the palace where he stamped up and scared. And he had him guarded it. One day, a messenger sent by one of his guards that guarded Peter said that he was now not on earth no more. He's dead. The guards claimed that Peter had a fall with one of the guards, and then he suddenly exploded to death. Well, no one knew for sure. And Peter's body was laid on the palace right there, so many people can see it. The emperor said that he has not confessed. He has been strangled, or maybe he has been died by an upset stomach ache. Stomach ache, ow, and exploded, and then he died after exploding. But no one knew what really happened. A couple ordered his husband killed. We are not sure. We don't know what really happened. But I can tell you what his body looked like. His face was purple. What? His face was purple? His face was purple? That's a weird face. And a big bandage with something wrapped around his neck, so no one can see it. Many people were up there looking at him one last time. So now he was really the emperor's Russia. And when he died, Russia will become one of the biggest and wealthiest country in the world. This is part 2, and I will see you next time on chapter 27 about as I remember, about a kind of engine and about another thing. So I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Hope you enjoy.